Anyway, in Minnesota today, we're going to learn all about the defeat of Jesse James Days. It's going on this weekend in Northfield. Had their traditional opening yesterday. And with us today is the general chairman of the Defeat of Jesse James Days Committee. Of course, they're an all-volunteer organization. TJ Heinricy is with us this morning. Thanks, TJ, for coming in.
Thanks for allowing me to come down. It's a pleasure.
Coming down to your neighbors to the south.
That is true. Nope, always good to come to Faribault.
It is an awesome celebration that you have in Northfield.
It is something I guess I'm recently the general chairman this year, but it's something I'm truly proud of. It's I'm honored to represent the Defeat of Jesse James Days in everything we do.
Right. And I could not remember. I posted something on our website about this. Do you recall, TJ, what year they changed from Jesse James Days to Defeat of Jesse James Days?
Don't hold me to this. if somebody's listening probably right now, it's going to Facebook and tell me different, but I want to say it's in the early 70s.
Okay.
It was in the early 70s because it was a fall festival at first. The JCs held it, and then it changed to the Defeat of Jesse James Days when they said we'd honor the townspeople, not the outlaw.
Okay. Well, I thought it happened since I've been here, but I guess not. I came in 1987, so obviously it happened before that.
You could be right. You could be right, Gordy. I think it was back, I want to say late 70s, somewhere in there, but I know it did change from Jesse James Days, the Fall Festival, Jesse James Days, Defeat of Jesse James Days. Ever since I've been in the city of Northfield, and I came to Northfield in '85, it was been the Defeat of Jesse James Days.
Okay, all right. In any event, it's really unique in the fact that you do celebrate the defeat of the outlaws by the townspeople at the time, and a couple of them lost their lives.
Well, that's what kind of really brought me full circle to the Defeat of Jesse James Days. When you kind of come to Northfield, you think, oh, it's about a carnival, a parade, an entertainment center, listen to some band music, but really what we honor, and we did it yesterday morning at our cemetery, was honor Joseph Lee Haywood. He was our bank teller at the bank that said, no, Jesse, Frank, the youngers, you're not robbing our bank, and he held his ground. He paid with it with his life, but that's what we honor. That's the first thing we did yesterday at noon, was start the celebration off with a cemetery. At the cemetery, and honored him, honored all the townspeople that held it. We just recently had, we give it a distinguished award. We call it the Joseph Lee Haywood Distinguished Service Award. That was presented last night to Bill Cowles, who was a Northfielder for years that owned Northfield Freezing. We honor distinguished people that have helped through volunteerism and everything they've done just for your community. You probably do something similar here in Faribault, but that's kind of kicks off our celebration. So that's how we do it. And then this year we're fortunate enough to have the gentleman, you've always seen all the different sketch drawings that Dirk Hansen has done over the years. Well, he just did a rendition now of Henry Wheeler, who was the gentleman that actually helped in the bank raid too. And Hayes Scriven, who's the curator of the Historical Society, now through some other funding, the Historical Society now has the original rifle used in the original bank raid. We just got it. He just acquired it this last year, so that's kind of neat. And Dirk Hansen now has a limited print production of a portrait of Henry Wheeler out there, so he's selling them right now.
So this is Wheeler's rifle?
Yep, Wheeler's rifle, and they have a Derringer. Hayes is going to hack me up, a Derringer, and I believe this pocket watch. And they have a neat little display there. It's very. I mean, you walk into Northfield and first time coming to, and you're going to go to the Historical Society, you come probably because of the gang, the Jesse James gang. But I think, and I agree with Hayes, when you walk out of there, you have a new recognition, a new understanding of what it actually is. We honor the townspeople, and that's what is portrayed in the Historical Society, and that's what kind of brought me full circle to why we celebrate Defeat of Jesse James Days.
Well, I said when I posted on our Facebook page promoting today's show, I said, I got to be honest, if I'm Mr. Haywood, I'd give him the money.
Mm-hmm. Nope, and actually, to be honest, it was it's a limited amount of money there, and the ironic one was that the history archivist from Carleton College said it very well yesterday. He said the bank or a college dean or professor, the president of Carleton College, came down that day or a couple of days before and talked to Joseph Lee Haywood at the bank, and they just knew they had just installed a time lock in the new bank, and he says, well, if you had to, would you give him the money? He says, no, I don't think I would.
All right, we're going to visit some more with TJ, get some details, I promise, about Defeat of Jesse James Days. They got a lot of fun events, the bank raid reenactments, of course, one of the highlights, the PRCA professional rodeo at Jesse James Arena. The Defeat of Jesse James Days, by the way, does have a terrific website. You should note that.
We do. We have a very
nice.
good gentleman. I will give a plug to Tim Freeland. He's a local realtor in town, works at one of your competitors, a local radio station in Northfield at Kim Radio. But he's taken upon our website for years. He's also the gentleman that hides the horseshoe, but does the commentating during our bank raids. But he's got wears a lot of hats, but he does a very nice job of the website, and he should be proud of how he's changed it, and it's kind of very easy to maneuver through, and there's a lot of neat things on it. And why I'm still on the website, one thing that's new this year, we actually used and I'm kind of naive to the newness of smartphones on it, but we used a QR code.
Sure.
We've always had a Spanish translation of the bank raids. Now this year you can go to that QR code on our brochures and on the posters and just QR code it off your smartphone and get the translation immediately. Even me, who's not smartphone savvy, got it to work in about 2 seconds. So it's kind of neat.
That tells you something, doesn't it?
Kind of neat.
So make sure you take advantage of that. A lot of button events during your Defeat of Jesse James Days. Where can people purchase those buttons?
You can buy buttons at either all of our local businesses in town, or our Bridge Square, where a lot of our vendors are, which is right in the heart of downtown. There's different stands throughout town, and there's always, from our Sertoma Club, our 2 Sertoma clubs in Northfield are the ones that sell our buttons, and they're kind of going all over the event. And if you show up to an event via the rodeo, the car show, at a bank raid, they're always selling buttons at those events too. They always sell them at the gates and at the doors too.
And they're $4, right?
$4 a button this year. Yep.
And that gets you into a lot of things.
Gets you into a lot of things, and it's one of our fundraisers. So I always collect all buttons, but I have quite a few years. But yeah, please buy a button. It'll allow you to get to a lot of access to a lot of different events and show patronage to our celebration.
You mentioned the beginning of Defeat of Jesse James Days yesterday with the graveside memorial service at Northfield Cemetery of Joseph Lee Haywood and Nicholas Gustafson, who just happened to be on Main Street that day.
Yes, he was. Nicholas was there. He was helped defend the bank too. Nicholas Gustafson and Henry Wheeler, all those gentlemen helped to defend the bank, and we honor all those people yesterday.
He didn't speak a lick of English, as I understand. He was a Swedish immigrant.
He was. He was a Swedish immigrant, so it's kind of fun to read the history. Yep, he was a Swedish immigrant.
So he didn't know what was going on, basically. I mean,
he did.
These guys come running out of the bank, jump on their horses, and start screaming that they're going to kill anybody that gets in their way.
Exactly. And it's kind of if you've never seen the bank raids, it's a very neat event. I mean, they are top notch. The outlaws do a very nice job, and if you've never saw it, it's very kind of awestruck. It's just fun to watch it portrayed, watch the the narration of it, and watch it unfold. It's kind of takes you back in time. It's kind of neat to partake in it.
And they're not all the same.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're all unique onto their own.
They exactly are. They kind of change it up because different gang members ride. There's different members to the gang, so it's a little different every time. But it's just kind of fun to actually watch it. When Chip the Man is probably the star of the show, and then his son and daughter ride in it. So it's kind of fun to watch. There's different. It's very prestigious to be in that gang, and they are an elite group. But it is fun to watch them unfold. And they don't even rehearse it, but they've done it so many times. But it's a little unique every time. I agree with that, Gordy.
Chip's been on the show many times over the years. He's a really good guy, and we tend to visit a lot more about the actual happenings on that fateful day back in 1876, probably more so than the Defeat of Jesse James Days, because, well, he knows I'm kind of a history buff too, and he has really done a lot of studying on this.
He is my historian. If I ever need anything I want refreshing about the outlaws and the gang, no, just call Chip up and he'll answer it, or his wife Jane. Jane will answer the questions too. That's exactly where I go. Those are we'll call it encyclopedias for when it involves the history of the Defeat of Jesse James Days.
He says it's important to them that they are accurate in their portrayal of what happened on that day.
It is very accurate. I mean, we've even went to as far as my job is my full-time job. We went one time, there's hitching posts in front of the bank, and me and Chip debated over how we were going to place them, and they are still there, but we moved one just because the original photo showed 3 posts instead of 2.
Oh.
And Chip said, he just wants it back to reality, as accurate as can. And my full-time job is being the street and park supervisor for Northfield. Actually, we have downtown flower baskets to beautify our town, just like Faribault does. But
sure.
Just to portray the natural history, we take those down to move things around to make it look as accurate as it possibly can.
this has really grown over the years, Defeat of Jesse James Days. As I mentioned, came here 28 years ago. It was big then, but it's even bigger now.
It's bigger now. We are still third largest celebration in Minnesota. We are right behind the mini Winter Carnival and the Aquatennial, Minneapolis Aquatennial, pardon me. But we are getting larger. Sometimes, you know, some people think we're getting too big, but we'll never turn an event down. There's always a full list of things to do for every age group. From tonight, there's a pedal tractor pull for the kids, to a giddy up horsey race, and by that I got to go defend my title. There's an adult giddy up horsey race, so we got to defend that. But there's always something for the kids to do. There's carnival. There's plenty of food to eat. There's always little different things. We change it up, to bring different, It's modernization, we'll call it that. There's different events that interest people. We try to do.
Sure. New this year is a Defeat of Jesse James Days youth hockey tournament.
Yes, we used to always have a craft sale there this year, but our arenas, which we never put ice in the summertime. We changed that establishment a few years ago, and I just know the history of this. We changed it to how we made ice so we could cool the floor much easier. So we put summer ice in now. And it was one of those deals we had to take it out for a craft sale, and we kind of wanted it where we could help out a local Northfield nonprofit group and let them run a tournament. And we decided we weren't going to have a craft sale, and we said we'd help the Northfield Hockey Association, allow them to run a tournament and make it a button event. So it's a both win-win situation for both of us. So it's a very good, kind of a good new thing, but I think it should be fun.
You have an entertainment center downtown, some terrific bands.
We have a lot of terrific bands. I'll be honest, I don't know tonight's band, but I know Friday night is Hitchville, and I know Saturday night is what they call a band called 32 Below. So if you like country western music, yeah, very, very entertaining bands.
Well, it's Townie night tonight.
It is Townie night, yep, but it's always kind of town people, but there are two local bands. Right. I don't play.
7:30 to 9:30, it's the Counterfactuals.
You're correct.
And from 9:30 to 11, TV and the Bellard Yellers, it says.
They're both local bands, but I've heard the Bellard Yellers or whatever. They're kind of neat. I've saw them before, but they're very entertaining. So it should be kind of a fun night. And it is kind of our town night where the kids can come out for a little bit of time, and so it's one night where we'll say we shut the party down a little bit early because it is a school night. But it's Friday night's our first rodeo, and there's two Saturday, and that's kind of our big Friday's the big kickoff Friday of everything. Today, food vendors start opening up, things kind of start rolling today, but we're kind of probably half throttled yet today, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's when we'll put her wide open.
Right. The Western style steak fry, boy, I love that. It's unfortunate that it's on a Friday night because I got a high school football game, but in years past I've been doing a game in Northfield or something. I've stopped by. Oh boy, is that delicious.
There's one there Friday, Saturday, and I will give the plug to the Cannon Valley Lions. I've been there numerous years. They have always been they've always liked the rodeo. They've always taken care of the rodeo. The Suttons have been there 30 plus years running our rodeo, so they've came back, and it's still fun to see the family. They haven't changed. They're just good old cowboys and want to have a good show, and that's still fun. Clancy Docomo Ford helps fund the rodeo and stuff like that. So we have a lot of different people that put on the PRCA rodeo, and that's a big event and very fun to see. And my favorite event is maybe not even a rodeo event. It's watching the kids do mutton busting. That's sure. Probably my heartwarming, funnest event, to watch the kids ride the sheep. That's kind of the funnest one.
Well, and the neat thing about the timing of the PRCA rodeo in Northfield is you're toward the end of the season when these guys need points to get to the national finals.
They are that. Yeah. So we do draw some bigger cowboys. I do know they're having a bigger purse this year, so it should be fun. And there's always the normal rodeo events. I'm not kind of savvy to those, but there's bronc busting, there's bull riding, stuff like that. There's always the barrel racing, stuff like that. But it's a good event.
There's a pedal tractor pull at 5:30 this evening. The carnival begins at 5 o'clock tonight. It's wristband night, and you can get all kinds of details on their website, djjd.org.
Correct. And then Saturday, Friday, there's the rodeos, there's bands playing downtown, food vendors are open downtown, the carnival's at full show. Saturday's probably our biggest days when all the car show opens up, there's craft sales, things for the kids to do. A new event this year is after our last bank raid on Saturday. A Minneapolis entertainer named Sean Emery is going to come down to do a nice should be a neat little show I'd say for the whole family. That's after our last bank raid, and that's going to be right downtown where our bank raids take on the 400 block of division. So that's a new event. We have a kitty parade on Saturday morning. So that takes place, and there's plenty of things for the kids to do. There's, I know, a gentleman coming in to do balloon twisting, a clown that comes in and do balloon twisting for the kids, and he's kind of fun to watch too. But there's a lot of things to do Saturday. If you're a car buff, have a significant other, or you yourself are into craft sale, there's plenty of stuff to come do Saturday. And I tell you what, I looked at the weather report and I watched you, your announcer announce it before. It sounds like we're going to have great weather for it, so it should be a lot of fun. It won't be hot, won't be too cold, and God bless it won't rain.
Yeah, fantastic. You mentioned the car show, and the Sundowner Car Club does a great job of that. I enjoy car shows, taking a step back in time and remembering, you know, your parents' vehicles and your old vehicles.
I was not part of the committee, and I took part in the first original car show. And ironically, I didn't win that day, but that's all right. I don't have that truck anymore, but the Sundowner Car Club should be proud of what they do. They are a very top-notch car show, and they put on a very nice show. And they draw a lot of cars from out of the metro and around the surrounding area. There's a lot of neat cars that you'll see. If you're a car buff, it's a lot of good things to see.
You have a soapbox derby.
Yes, we had to change the name of that this year because that is a sanctioned name called a soapbox derby. So this
Seriously?
year it is. We got kind of a slap on the wrist about calling it soapbox derby from being out east. There is a sanctioned soapbox derby. So this year we changed the name of it. We're going to call it the Raider Derby. But that is fun. It is fun just to watch the kids come and race and build their cars. You know, have dad or mom or dad help them build the car or build it themselves and watch them race. They had a little time trial or a little pre-race on, I'd say they were time trial on Tuesday night, but it was kind of fun. There was probably two dozen cars out there racing. It was kind of fun to watch them do it. That's a fun event.
I know it's hard to get a handle on, but you do know what your button sales are, for example. Any idea how many people attend Defeat of Jesse James Days?
As well as Faribault Heritage Days and this and that. It's all weather kind of dependent, but sure. I would say we probably do. No, somebody's going to be holding me to. I would say 80 to maybe 150,000. I mean, given the whole celebration.
Well, your parade alone draws lots and lots.
That's kind of awestrucking to see the grand parade. Even the kiddie parade's kind of just, it's like you just can't fathom the people, how many line the streets. And I mean, I've rode in 13 parades this year on another organization I'm involved in, but it's always fun just to see. You hear people just announce, we love Defeat of Jesse James Days Parade. It's the last parade of the season or whatever for around this area, but it's just awestruck to see the amount of people.
Well, I have to tell you that I interview a lot of queens in my job, of course, a lot of young ladies who pretty much all go to your event, and I ask them what their favorite, and every year they tell me Defeat of Jesse James Days is their favorite parade to ride in because they get treated so special by you folks.
We really do take pride in our ambassador program, and that's something every festival should take pride in with their ambassadors, because we know, I mean, all of our people that participate in it will acknowledge that it's life changing for them after they're through the whole cycle of it. It's just it's amazing to hear them, watch them go through that and just kind of blossom out of, maybe a shy person to being able to stand up. I mean, it's probably their 4th appearance last night at the banquet, and they're already so used to standing in front and talking to people. It's just amazing, and every festival should be proud of their ambassador. And us in Northfield Defeat, our ambassadors, I'm very proud of all the gals. Last year we had a gentleman that was one of them, but we have all gals this year, so it's we have junior royalty and senior royalty, but they're good bunch of kids.
Yeah, the junior royalty are so cute.
I love them. I love them to death. They're just fun. It's fun to watch them. They're so shy, and then by the end they're giving hugs. They're always high-fiving people. It's just kind of fun to watch them blossom.
I remember a few years back, I was interviewing them over at the Carriage and Cutter Parade in Kenyon, and the little girl gave the little boy a kiss on the cheek. It was just so cute.
It is. We've always had a boy and boy and girls. There's certain celebrations, and certain ones don't have junior royalty and this and that. But I was just shocked. My hometown is not Northfield. I used to live up by St. Cloud, Minnesota, but there's a ambassador group from a little town of Grove City. That's almost a 4-hour drive down here to Northfield, and they're coming to our celebration. It's amazing how many. Right now, my wife added it up for our parade. There's probably 320 ambassadors coming to our parade, so it's amazing the number that draws, and that program is evolved, and all the gals all interact, and it's really fun to watch them do it.
And weren't you telling me that you've got 168 units lined up for this year's parade?
My wife thinks, yeah, she's got a lot of.
Wow.
There's a big. My wife Robin is in charge of the parade, and it's a big project. But yeah, she's got. There's a lot of the banners and all that stuff. That's a big undertaking she takes on, and God bless her, she pulls it off every year.
DJ Heinricy is with us. He's the general chairperson of the Defeat of Jesse James Days committee. They have committee member. How many people are on your committee?
Gordy, I would say estimate right now, we're probably 160, 180 active members on the committee. We're the only total volunteer organization or festival in Minnesota yet, so we're quite large, but we're always open, and we always say, hey, come and just don't throw your hand up too high, or we're going to take you in, we'll get you a job somewhere. We always find people to help them out.
Well, let's see, we touched on the entertainment center and some of the bands that are going to be participating there. The professional rodeo. The Grand Parade is at 2 o'clock on Sunday, by the way. We get calls every year.
Mm-hmm.
When is the parade? When is the parade? 2 o'clock Sunday.
Parade is 2 o'clock Sunday, and two other events we probably didn't touch on. Saturday afternoon, there is a garden tractor pull. Now he's noisy. I would call them little garden tractors jacked up on steroids. That's out at our Seckler Park, because they're kind of fun to watch. They're not your normal lawn boy or snapper lawnmowers. They're not quite made for lawnmower, but it's kind of fun to watch them watch. And then Sunday is our, we'll call it field and professional tractor pull. That's down at our rodeo grounds too. That's Sunday morning. That kicks off. That takes place. Kind of finishes up about the time the parade starts.
If you're into physical fitness, they have a Jesse James 5K and 15K run. They have a Jesse James bike tour.
Yep, those all take place Saturday and Sunday, so those are all going on, and there's so many things to do. And be honest, Gordy, you're looking at the list. I might miss a few here and there, but
you're doing very well.
There's a lot of things going on, and there's always a lot of things for people to do.
You're remembering most of them, I can tell you that.
And one thing I will suggest, remember, if you're coming to our rodeos and things like that, we have different parking areas and shuttle buses that are throughout the area. Multimeal, who is our now post brand in Northfield, are gracious enough to allow us to use one of their parking lots and use shuttle services over to the rodeo. So look on our website. I can't stress that enough. There's a map to tell you where all the different events are, how you can park, where you shouldn't park. A lot of different things.
If you're coming to town from the east side, there's still the bridge out.
Yes,
right?
there is. I had a good point, Gordy. Yes, Highway 19 East, right by Lyman Lakes at Carleton College, is still closed. So, ladies and gentlemen, so please don't, follow the detour signs and honor that, and it'll help you out here and there.
Yeah, the detour takes you into a residential area.
Takes the detour. Actually takes you way out to County Road Highway 56 yet, and it doesn't allow you. But people are, used to Northfield, know how to get into town, but yet allow you. But the bridge is still closed, and I know it's going to be closed till probably the first part of October.
I was just going to ask you when that, because that's been all year, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been most of the summer. They went
through the summer.
Carleton went, summer vacation went on. They took it out, and it's cured right now. I know most of the concrete's poured, and they're letting it cure now and letting the final phases, so it's getting there.
It's been kind of a pain, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've got a couple of my Carleton College. I've kind of liked it. They said it's been probably the quietest year they've had because there's no traffic, so kind of neat, but.
Anyway, so October that'll be done.
Yep.
October of this year. The antique tractor pull is at 7 in the morning registration on Sunday. We got a lot of listeners I know that love going to tractor pulls.
Yep, that's kind of a fun event. That's kind of a fun event. They have field stock and different modified. I know they don't get into the full, we'll call it the open class that I'm kind of accustomed watching, the big, loud, noisy ones that you have the Rice County Fair here. I'd call them. Most of these, I would say, look like normal tractors that aren't on steroids yet.
The craft show is one of the biggest around, I understand.
We have two we'll call it craft sales. We have craft sale that's up at our Central Park. It's up on the in between 4th and 5th Street up at Central Park, up by our old middle school, if people familiar at Northfield. And we have an arts and crafts show that's downtown in our River Commons area that's downtown, run by the Arts Guild, and there's a couple plays going on. I believe Jesse's going on. The Arts Guild puts on a play. That's they don't advertise it that much because they have a limited seating, but that goes on. A lot of local bands. There's something for everybody. If you don't like our entertainment center, I know there's umpteen other establishments in town that have bands playing. So karaoke night and different things event at different venues. So there's a lot of things going on Saturdays. Friday and Saturday.
Square dance Friday night.
Have a square dance. Yep, that goes on.
Man, you guys really cover the whole gamut, don't you?
Try to cover a little bit for everybody.
And the Northfield Historical Society has an open house this evening, 6:30 until 8.
6:30 to 8. Yep, that's the Wheeler painting exhibit. It's kind of opening now tonight. I believe he's even having a wine or whiskey tasting there. We have a local distillery in town. I think that's Hayes is probably going to text me real quick and tell me I didn't get that right, but I know that's going on there too. So, there's a lot of neat things going on in the Historical Society. There's always there's no bank raids today, but there's plenty of stuff for people to do yet. But one of my favorite events tonight is the kiddie tractor pull. That's kind of fun to watch them.
Sure. In those bank raid reenactments, I'm glad you brought it up, are Friday evening 6 and 7, Saturday morning at 11, Saturday afternoon at 1 and 3, 5 in the evening on Saturday, and on Sunday at 11 in the morning and 12:30 in the afternoon.
Gordy, just to remember, those are, if you want a nice seat for to watch a bank raid, they are button events to sit in the bleachers, but we have plenty of bleachers that we put out, line the streets for bleachers for people to sit to. There is especially handicapped seating for them. If you have difficulty hearing or you want different translations, there's iPads available at our going to be available at our information booth that's right on Bridge Square. So that's just a reminder. So you ask somebody if they want to sit in the bleachers. That is a button seating. Something else, on the health end of it, we have plenty of health and EMS covering the facility. We us as the committee have purchased a bunch of AEDs, defibrillators, if you know, for helping for CPR. They're out all the different establishments during the celebration, and we let different nonprofits use them the rest of the year at their establishments, so that we do have health covered. Being an ex-fireman and EMT, we have all the EMS and all the police stuff is covered. So don't feel safe. We have it's a good event, and we take pride in how we take care of our event and take care of our people.
Yeah, the information booth is on Bridge Square if you need more information when you get there.
Exactly, that is right. If you're not familiar with Northfield, that is right at 4th and Division, right down at the down heart of Northfield. Probably going to be kind of hard to drive to about this time tomorrow or this time tonight because the streets get blocked off, but that's where the information booth is. And once again, if you're smartphone savvy, just go to our defeatofjesseJamesDays.org. It'll bring up every djgd.org, and it'll bring up every bit of information you want to know about the celebration.
Well, congratulations in advance, TJ, for another terrific celebration.
Thank you.
Guys
Appreciate it.
Pull it off without a hitch because you do every year.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the airtime. Thanks for the help there.
TJ Heinricy, who's the general chairperson of the Defeat of Jesse James Days Committee. We invite everybody in the KDHL listening area to pop on over and enjoy yourself at Defeat of Jesse James Days in Northfield.